Hello, hello. It is now 8 o'clock, and this mic has echo. We're going to get kicked off, get started. Welcome to another Friday night with Will Work for Recovery. We do have pizza coming in. It'll be from American Pie Pizza. And as soon as this meeting gets out, I'm sure we'll be joined by a host of friends. Uh, for right now, I'm going to welcome on Alex.
Fine.
Take this seat.
Let's see.
Yep.
Echo.
First door on the left.
Welcome to the show, Alex.
Hi.
What is your first impression of Will Work?
Of Will Work?
It's awesome, huh?
It's a little much. Not in a bad way. Different than some other places I've been, but good atmosphere.
How long have you been coming here?
This is my third week recently, and then I've been here twice years ago when it first opened, I think.
Right on. So, what are you doing for? Tell us a little bit. Tell us about yourself, where you're from, what you're doing.
Waiting to hear back from when I start my job. I just did orientation for yesterday at Jimmy John's.
You got a new job?
Thank you very much.
I think it's this one.
Ow, that was loud.
Congrats on the new job.
Yeah, we'll see. Which is
Hey, job's a job.
right?
Somewhere you weren't at prior to. You know, something that
Yeah.
you didn't have a job prior to. So,
Correct.
what are you doing for your recovery?
Working with my sponsor, which I go to. I have a couple regular meetings I go to a week. And I go to my church. I think it's at 6:30. It's a faith-based recovery meeting. And then I go Saturday, which I don't always want to go, but I meet with my sponsor before the meeting, so kind of obligated. Some days I just like to sleep all Saturday. Try to squeeze in Sunday when I can. Trying to balance it out between attending church and going to the meeting because they're at about the same time.
You just want to do the thing.
He just wants to be on
He
camera.
just wants to be on camera.
Get on.
So tell me something that you have learned in your recent time in recovery.
I have a lot more addictions than just drugs.
Yeah, when you stop one, the others kind of start to take effect.
No,
Isn't that cross addiction?
my
That's
last
cross addiction.
Yeah.
well, my last relapse on amphetamines, I got introduced into online gambling, and now that's just been the dominating addiction the past year.
Yeah, when you take one thing away, something else is gonna fill it, right?
I didn't. I was doing them both at the same time, and then one stopped and the other one didn't stop.
So, do you think you can apply the things that you've learned up to this point in recovery to your current struggle?
Possibly. At this point in time, I'm about ready just to get rid of my phone.
Well, that's a start.
Just, I thought about signing up for this phone detox. You have till January 31st to sign up for it, and then it's a 30-day smart electronic detox, and then they pick 10 winners for 10 grand or something like that.
So you're gambling again.
Just without the phone.
Just without the phone. Who am I joined by?
Rick, alcoholic.
Hey, Rick, and you are?
Sean Addict.
Sean, welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome, guys.
Now, I know you've been on the show. Sean, have you been on the show before?
Yeah, twice previously.
Twice?
Yeah.
How long have you been coming to Will Work?
Probably like 3 months.
3 months? Yeah. What is your initial thought when you walk into here?
Well, of course, the scenery is more chill than anywhere that I've ever been. You know, there's just a lot of different types of people. I don't know, a lot going on here. That's for sure.
That is for sure. What are you doing for your recovery recently?
Well, lately I just been writing a lot in a journal. I've been reading a lot and just coming to the understanding that the way I was living when I was high, you know, ain't reality. So you just got to slow it down a little bit and learn to live a little bit different. That's it.
I need a dial to learn how to slow down. Just turn it back a bit. Feel
Rick.
always rushed when I'm not rushed.
Yeah, nobody's rushing you. There you go. See, nice slow pause. Rick, welcome back to the show.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you say it's always a pleasure to be here. Why is that?
Because this is my family, man. It's home away from home. It's where I get to learn about my recovery and be of service of helping people in need.
Right on. What are you doing recently for your recovery?
Recently, well, I got this sponsor, right? And I meet with him every day. Well, not every day, sorry. Just about every week. Working through the book, working my steps again. You know, I need the work in order for me to succeed. Just like going to school, you got to study, right, in order to graduate. Well, I may not graduate from the program, but at least I'll still learn.
And so,
And
yeah, having that curiosity is always
you know,
beneficial.
yeah. I mean, I do a lot of recovery. I help chair meetings. I work with people in the book. Because I have to constantly keep doing the work in order to help others. I don't want to give somebody a false, whatever you call it.
False sense, maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to go try to teach or preach or whatever you want to call it to somebody if I'm not doing the work myself. It kind of defeats the purpose.
Right on.
I feel like I would be setting other people up for failure.
Yeah, exactly. And the book tells us that on 164. You can't transpire what you don't have.
Yeah.
It sounds like chaos.
There's a lot of echo in here.
Dang, you took control of that pretty good.
Well, I mean, hey. But no, for me, man, it's really cool. I learned to be a better father, a better employer, a better friend, a better brother, a better husband, doing this program. I always say I'm not perfect at it. I don't want to be or try to be, but I do the best of my ability. And with working with others, working with somebody who's been there before me, that's what helps me, keeps me sober.
Right on.
In Woolwork, I've been coming to Woolwork for 6 years now. I took a little bit of time apart from here because I want to go out and experiment, see if things changed.
Did they?
Fuck no. No, and it's not going to change. I don't want to steal no more time from my life or steal more time from my family.
That's a good way to look at it.
I know I get to wake up every morning. God willing, he wakes me up, and I can remember what I did the day before.
And that sometimes I take that for granted. There's been so many times where it's like I want to gripe about what's going on, but then I forget that these were the days I prayed for when I was at my absolute lowest.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted to be able to just wake up and have a normal life.
Yeah, and then it happens, and you're like, I don't like this anymore.
Sean,
Yeah.
what is there anything going on that you could offer to help somebody who might be struggling out there?
Well, for me, what helped is I just immediately dropped it from my identity, and I just said, I don't smoke dope no more. And then as soon as I dropped it from my identity, immediately just started taking my being sober. Put all that energy into, my pride that I'm sober now. All right.
Hold on, not yet.
Yep.
Alex,
What?
what is something that you could give to somebody who might be struggling right now?
When you asked him that, actually, I was pulling something on my phone because it made me think of something.
What is that?
Bible chapter. Um, I'm not gonna read the whole chapter, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, a whole chapter.
No, I could read the whole chapter, but that'd take a little bit. Um, I'm pulling it up now.
Well, he's pulling it up. Thing I could give him too is, my phone or something, because we're here all the time. Pretty much this place is always open. So if you haven't checked us out, you should do so.
Absolutely. While he's looking that up, what is something you, Rick, that you could offer to somebody who could be struggling out there?
I could show them the direction.
What direction's that?
Recovery, man. Just, what I learned is I can guide somebody in the direction that I was taught, but I can't make them get sober.
Right.
I can want them to be sober, but I can't force them to be sober.
I have found that's one of the harder things is that when you find somebody and you want it worse for them than they want it for themselves.
Well, and I noticed too, like if I'm worrying about somebody else's recovery, which I don't think it's a bad thing, but when I get too invested in somebody else's recovery, I'm taking away from my own.
Absolutely.
All right, I got that pulled up. I really want to read the whole chapter, but
No, you get
I'm not going to.
this much.
You get 5 seconds. 1, 2.
All right, so it's 1 Corinthians 13. If you want a full context, I'm reading out of the NASB translation, and I'm going to read verses 1 through 3, I guess. If I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I have become a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and know all the mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all the faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. And if I give all my possessions to be poor, and if I surrender my body to be burned and do not have love, it profits me nothing.
That's awesome. And that's something that you've been carrying with you for a bit.
Yeah, it's me and one of my mentors end up discussing this chapter on various topics.
Real quick, tell people what your gratitude is.
I want to get some of this pizza.
Okay, I'm back,
Bring
I
that
guess.
guy back.
Get your ass in here.
You're next.
He's escaping. That's not fair.
I gotta get your gratitude before you leave.
All right,
he's
gratitude.
next.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing that I'm grateful for that I never had the experience to be grateful for is to have God in my life.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you?
So far, it's amazing.
Does I guess I want to push just a little bit harder. Does that bring you something that like I don't know a peace or a happiness or like explain to me what it brings to you?
It definitely does bring me peace. It brings me knowing that I don't have to deal with my stuff on my own. I can give it to God when I'm too messed up in the head.
That's fantastic gratitude.
So,
That's
but
awesome.
I want to say before I leave, if you're struggling, for anybody, please reach out, man. Our lives are more valuable than we ever thought it was, and just know that you're loved, and I love you. And I'm out of here.
Thanks, buddy. Sean, I know you're looking to go. Give me your gratitude. What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful that I'm not stuck in the loop anymore.
That's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
So tell me what a little bit about like what that looks like when you're not being stuck in that loop. What are things that you're getting out of that you didn't have prior?
Well, pretty much like there's two directions you're gonna go, man. You're gonna go towards positive, uplifting people, or you're gonna take that selfish, self-sabotaging, just ugly road. I don't. Ask the question again. I kind of lost my words on that.
So go back to what you're grateful for, right? That you're not in that cycle.
Yeah, that loop.
Right. So what does that look like different now? What are you getting out of this not the different loop? Something different.
Like I got myself out of that place where hurt people are hurting people. where people are telling you stuff and you might believe it whether it's true or not, talking you down,
So you no longer have to cause damage in other people's lives.
Right, I moved myself to a place of love, where people, and I've been detoxing myself, my subconscious. Like I changed the whole music I listen to and just got to tell myself, even though I'm sober, that criminal thinking comes up. No, Sean, we don't do that no more. You know what I mean? We're being different. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. I know you wanted to get some pizza, so.
You know it. All right.
Alex, tell me what you're grateful for. And then when you're done, when you go up to grab pizza, find me 3 new people.
I would have to say what I'm grateful for is the different lens I'm looking at life through.
This different lens. Explain this new lens that you got.
Well, for example, I'll use an example to kind of explain it because I don't know how to explain it.
Sure.
I've gone through the Big Book before with a previous sponsor. I'm going through the Big Book now with my current sponsor. The things I'm seeing in the book and the way they're speaking to me in different ways, like I've read this before, but it didn't have this impact on me so the lens I'm viewing things through things are hitting me different and makes me
scared. This is my
ponder
first
a
ever
lot of
podcast.
things.
He's all scared. I don't know what he's all scared about.
I'm just gonna dump that box of candy on him. That's what he's scared about.
I mean, if he's going to overthink it, we could dump it on the floor and tell him to pick it up. So everything's having a meaning right now, even though
Even my outlook on life. Even my outlook on life. Like I hear about things happening in the world, and it hurts my heart in a way. Whereas I used to be numb to the crap that goes on in this world and didn't give a crap's ass.
That's awesome. So there's a lot more healing going on than because the impact is different and you're seeing it through this new lens. That it's not just like that personal healing or recovery that we talk about, but it sounds like you've got like a moral compass developing.
I would say I always had a moral compass, but it may have been off point. It's getting fine-tuned,
Awesome.
corrected, and
Well,
properly
I appreciate your
adjusted.
time, and I know you want pizza.
Yeah, I'm hungry and ready for bed,
Go
but
grab
I have
some
to wait for
pizza
my ride.
And find me 2 people.
All right.
Young man, welcome to the show. What's your name?
My name is Brandon. I'm an addict.
Hi, Brandon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Up until I got on the microphone, I get a little bit of social anxiety being heard by a bunch of people.
Well, I think you're in luck. There's only 2,000 people listening right now.
That's okay.
See, there you
I'm
go.
okay with that.
All right.
I'm hoping for way more, maybe eventually later on in life. But
So tell me, what's your first impression when you come into Willard?
I think this is a very, very welcoming and friendly place. I feel like they do care a lot for their newcomers and the people that have been here long term. It's more like a family here than it is like just people, but they also are really trying to help you, and I feel like they have a lot to share with a person that's fresh walking into the door.
Right on. Who do I have on the show now?
I'm Paris, and I'm in recovery.
Hi, Paris.
I'm Brian.
Hi, Brian.
How you doing?
Welcome to the show.
It's my
Brian, I
dad.
know this is your first time at Will Work, right?
No.
Is it third
Yeah.
time? Is it your first time on the show?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to prep you for this one, right? Well, welcome to the show. And Paris, you said you have some type of special interest in this person?
That's my dad.
This is your dad.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
He looks like he's my age.
He doesn't age.
That's... You got quite the gift. Like, how old are you?
I'm gonna be 46.
You're going to be 46.
Yes, sir.
And I think I have more gray hair than you.
Yeah.
What? We got hecklers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Ferris, tell me what you're doing
Well, I just got 1 year sober on Wednesday. You're funny. Just been hanging out with my dad. Feel a little worked out in a good way. Like been busy and tired. About this a little bit before the podcast. Doing service work at least. Still coming back and being humble about what I do. You know, because being here and running meetings, making newcomers feel welcome, that keeps me accountable and in my sobriety all the time. Like, because I know when I first got into recovery, like there's few people that made me feel that way. So then I was like, okay, well, I gotta step up and do that too. So yeah, just been doing that.
So you're giving back.
Yeah, I think it's it's a program where you can't just take. Like, you can give what you got, basically. Like, once somebody's taught you how to do it, you should also give it back to a person. Because sometimes, like, when we first get in recovery, we don't know exactly how to do it or what to do or where to go.
Right.
Because, like I've talked about it before, is like, I do, like, meeting roulette. I've gone to meetings. I didn't like it because it's just a weird stuff. Like, just getting hit on. There's, like, no people running the meetings, so I'm like, okay, where do I go? And then thankfully for Meyer, he told me about this place, and it's the most unstructured, structured NAAA meeting I really do.
Unstructured, structured.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, man. You guys got going on here.
Yeah.
For sure.
They've been giving my dad lots of love too. We also went out to dinner with a couple people, and will work because I did fellowship. I've been going to fellowship now. Doing great, yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah, I know I'm doing fellowship. But we did fellowship on Wednesday for, a dinner with everybody in the room. And then yesterday we did our own, like, intimate dinner. I had Paul and Carolyn come to give them gratitude of, like, if it wasn't for you guys having this place, I wouldn't still be coming back and being sober for as long as I have been. And then had Myers come because if it wasn't for Myers showing me this place, who knows what have happened, And then obviously just a few people that make me feel comfortable in the room, that make me feel like, I have a sense of community with people. Because it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm like, once you come in a room for so long, you get well known and you do have a community. But it's the intimate community you have with people that are willing to listen to you, banter about BS, all that stuff. Just like, it's not always being so serious about recovery, just being a friend. Because like when you have a friend, you can talk about those things and it's not awkward or it feels like somebody's judging you about it or you're not doing it the right way. And it's like, well, it may not be the way you like it, but it's the way I'm doing it. So, yeah, just doing a lot of that stuff, basically. And just always coming back, basically. Yeah, just coming back. I'm supposed to be hosting a podcast with you, but I'm also, you're going to be proud of me, I'm moving forward with step work. I was talking to Mandy. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I was talking with
Give me a
Mandy.
quick one.
Okay. But me and Mandy were talking about it. We're talking about planning days, doing gratitude, texting each other once a day. Like, text each other in the morning, do a gratitude list, and then I think we're thinking about meeting on Thursday, and then sometimes the weekends too, maybe like twice a week, once a week, just depends. So getting there, doing things I need to do, need to build a foundation, because I have a sense of foundation being here and giving back to the community that has given to me, but it's having a foundation within myself.
Sure.
So yeah, just doing some big things, especially having the 1 year and stuff. Like, I did everything just kind of I did it differently. People, they start their step work, they have their sponsor. Okay, well, I had a sponsor, but I didn't do the step work. I just did the service work. I did everything else. I was like, so it's time to sit down and actually do that. So, yeah.
Right on.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
You're doing great.
I know. I'm really excited you're here because then you actually got to meet Dad, too.
Hey, I got to meet Dad. Dad,
What's up?
are you one of us?
I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you doing recently for your recovery?
I'm giving back to my community. I took a lot from my community, so it's time that I give back.
Well, tell me about it. What does that look like for you?
What's it look like for me? So I worked my way into a job at the Juvenile Department Center. I work with kids that are in lockup. I work with kids that are in a treatment facility. And I work with kids that have some issues, that I can relate to.
And what are the ages of these guys that you're working with?
The age from 11 to 19, 20 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. yeah.
So making an impact right when it's starting to turn for them.
Yeah.
Even at younger ages like 11 and up to 20 is like guys are starting to get a little bit of taste of like, oh, what's it like to be an adult.
Yep.
Yeah.
The streets haven't got a hold of them yet and corrupted them. So.
So
it-
you're there and you're making that impact, giving back to your community.
Yeah.
That's
Keep
awesome.
Giving a little bit of guidance. You know. Yeah.
What has that done for you?
It's taught me a lot about myself, you know, and it's made me realize a lot of the trauma that I didn't realize that I had as a young kid. You know, I get to work with them through their trauma, and a lot of the things I relate with them on that I never thought of when I was a kid. You know, that trauma that was there.
So you're healing trauma that you
Most definitely.
didn't even remember that you had, but
right.
then these things come up.
That's right.
You have that relation, and then you're able to
Right.
give back
And
through
little-
your experience too.
Yeah, and little do they know they're actually teaching me as I'm walking them through some things, you know.
That's
So,
amazing. Dude, I'm glad that you are in that position.
thank you.
So
Me
that
too.
these guys can get somebody that relates to them, speaks their language,
Yeah.
understands, and like you said, in the process is learning from each other.
Yeah, and what's cool is I get to process my story with them, and they get to relate a lot with what I've been through too, you know. So it builds trust, you know. And speaking on trust, it was kind of crazy because they gave me a key to the jail. You know, they gave me the key to the juvenile hall and the treatment center. So instead of going through the back door and coming in cuffs, I actually get to leave. You know, it's a different thing.
It's a little different these
It's
days.
a lot different
Yeah.
these days, you know. But it's a good feeling, man.
That's awesome. And I know that Paris had mentioned before in prior shows that sometimes he'll play the show for
The kids.
the
Yeah.
kids that you
Yeah.
work with.
Yeah.
So we're grateful that you get to.
I actually popped it onto the big screen in there and let them watch it. They liked it. They were like, "Tell them I said thank you, man. Tell them I said thank you." So I threw it in the chat. You know, yeah. It was kind of a process group that I was running. I said, "You guys want to process some things? Let's put this on and see if you guys can relate to what's going on right here." You know, and they enjoyed it.
That's awesome. So your kids are probably are you gonna backplay this show now?
Yeah, I probably will. You know, they probably want to see it. You know, they
Yeah, it's
don't.
on
They don't
YouTube.
know that I'm here on this, but I'm gonna let them know. You know, I'm super proud of Paris, man. That's why I came out here, was to support her. Amazing. You know, I'm so proud of her. I've watched her grow so much in this last year. It's just amazing, dude. I got all choked up when I gave her a coin the other night. And I didn't think I was gonna cry in front of a bunch of people like that, but
I cried too.
Yeah,
I don't like
yeah.
crying in front of people.
yeah.
That's where I get it from.
Well,
Don't.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't put that on Dad.
No, I get it from him. I'm not putting it on him. I just get it from him.
Yeah.
My mom will cry about whatever. I don't know, she's emotional, and I'm like, I don't do all that. I'm like, I'll cry in the privacy of myself. You know, like me and him will cry together, but not in front of people.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So-
also a therapeutic thing too.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Brandon.
Wow, you're really echoing today. Whenever
Yeah,
you're
I heard
here,
that echo.
Here, I guess I echo.
It's your voice, I think.
he's just a loud talker.
I'm
That's
a loud
all.
talker. Brandon,
Yes, sir.
what are you doing for your recovery recently?
Recently, I'm just really trying to practice putting consistency into my life. Just making sure that I make like 1 or 2 meetings a week, every week. That I'm like, I've implemented going to the gym for the last couple months, like 2-3 months. Just making that a couple times a week too, and just kind of just diving deeper into myself, trying to really take a look at my character flaws and defects, and even like my positive ones, and build on them, but then like look deeper into my defects and just see like maybe take a step back and try to look at the bigger picture and ask like questions. I like to question everything in life. I feel like it helps me find more answers. Like the more open I am and the more like willing I am to follow that advice and everything, like I feel like it hasn't done me wrong, and I'm also coming up on my year sober, like in 2 weeks.
No fronts.
No fronts, nothing.
In 2 weeks, you get the clap, but
Yeah, I know, no fronts, but God willing, I'll get there.
I was like that 2 weeks ago too.
we're all like, no fronts, man.
Jake knows that. I was like, I know, but I'm telling you, I'm
I
struggling.
I really don't, me, myself, I don't really look at clean time like, congratulations, I'm clean, I've made it this long. Like, I am proud of myself, but I know I've got a lot longer to go in life if I really want to do this the correct way, because this is a lifelong journey, not just a destination we want to reach in life.
So let's touch a little bit on that consistency that you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
What are those? What things are you implementing to stay consistent with?
Well, so far, I've been doing for the last 6 months, like on the treatment side, I've been doing that, and then the step downs with the aftercares, and even the aftercares after that, I'm making sure I'm in an actual program like once a week, whether it's therapy or just an aftercare for treatment. And then I am, to break anonymity, I'm going to Saturday night meetings with you.
That's not breaking anonymity.
Okay, you're on the show, you're right. I go every Saturday with you and Alex, who was on the show last, and we've been doing that for 3 weeks now, coming up on 4 tomorrow. And yeah, just building solid other relationships in my life too, and just kind of always keeping that consistency where we're checking up on each other, making sure we're doing good and the stuff that we need to be doing, staying focused, and I kind of do a list of it myself, like a mini 10th step, I would call it, like a self-inventory. I've been in and out of this room for a little while now.
I can't
over
wait to
the
see
years.
that.
It's not like a consistent every night thing, but
No,
I
that's
do
fine.
write a few things down that I'm
I'd
grateful
love
for.
to see it.
Okay.
I want to see this mini 10 step. I'll break anonymity. I'm a sponsor.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. It's not. It's an old way that they taught me. I remember from 5 years ago, but it could probably use some work. It's a worksheet I got printed
Hey,
off
I'm
a long
not
time
going
ago.
to tell you can't do it. I just want to look it over and see that, because part of the 10 step is, we see our character defects that come out throughout our day, but the other part about a 10 step is that we also see our character assets, and we have to list them because the 10 step says that we're no longer doing our inventory in red ink.
It's not staying. It's not staying
if
there. It's a
somebody
temporary
told
thing,
me
right?
That my inventory for the rest of my life would be in red ink, I wouldn't do it every day. I wouldn't do, and even if I don't do it every day, I wouldn't consistently do this throughout my recovery. I'd say I'm not doing that. I don't want to look at my bad stuff all the time. When I have to stop and look at my bad stuff, I also got to see my good stuff that's coming out.
Yep.
So that's all. That's why I said I can't wait to see it. I want to see the good stuff that's coming out, and if it's not, I'll give you a little rundown on how to do it. But obviously, we'll get there where you actually get to practice it.
Yep. We're getting there.
Good,
My
man.
first step.
Me
I have-
too.
I
Me
have-
too. I'm only on my first one. We just
I have a
finished
few
finished
stuff.
it up. We just finished it
Just
up,
finished it
actually. Yeah.
I have a few stuff done, but Mandy and I are gonna go over it, and then we're gonna also, recap a little bit because I have my sponsor, but she's more somebody I can talk to. She's like my sponsor, and then she's like my mentor in step work. And my sponsor, who I can talk to and call. I just hung out with her yesterday, and Mandy is somebody that I can actually be mentored with, what I should do for my foundation. So I'm excited about that, and we're gonna go to cool coffee spots and stuff. So,
Sounds like fun.
uh-huh.
I want to dig in more at Brian because
Do it.
This is his first time on the show.
He's a quiet man too, so do it.
Brian, I like to ask this question, and it's not. I guess maybe it's becoming a more stabilized question on the show. What's something you had to learn the hard way?
Yeah,
Life.
for sure. Break it down.
Go in, break down.
Life.
What part of life did you have to learn the hard
I
way?
had to learn to live life on life's terms. Everything I did was the hard way. You told me to go right, I went hard left. You told me not to do this. I said, sure, okay. That's your opinion, I'm gonna do it anyways. You know, I was a knucklehead. I really got it at like 40 years old. You know, I started out as a young criminal, and my first addiction was being a criminal, and then that moved on to drugs. You know, so I had to learn how to live completely different. I remember you guys talking about sponsors. My first sponsor asked me, he said, Brian, you know, if you want your life to change, he said, there's only one thing you really have to change. And I said, just one thing, huh? That sounds pretty simple. And he said, you know what that one thing is? I said, what's that? He said, everything.
Gotcha.
Everything. You know, but I stayed open-minded, you know, worked through the steps, and I would say it changes your life, man. For me, it changed my life. It gave me a different way to look at myself. I had to get honest with myself, you know, because I'd lie to myself a lot, you know, like I'm okay. Well, it wasn't, you know. Trauma that I had wasn't trauma, you know. I dealt with it. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? It was so. Working through those steps actually opened a lot of doors for me, you know, in my own soul and my own mind, you know, helped me elevate, getting closer to my higher power, you know, raising my level of consciousness, you know, like I said in the meeting tonight, just trying to love everybody, you know. Had a lot of anger growing up. It was something I thought was okay. You know, what it got me back was nothing but hate and anger. You know, that's all I received. So.
So that is. It kind of sounds like that hard life lesson that you had is that the more what you put out is what you got back. In a lot of aspects.
Exactly. Man. So now today, put love and hope to get love back, and it works, man. Receive it. You know?
So that's so you're saying putting love and hope out there.
Yeah.
What does that do for you, just internally?
Internally, it raises my consciousness, and you know, I feel the vibrations in me, you know, raising to a higher level. Then you can connect with people, you know, and those lower levels of vibration, that hate, that anger, you know, out there. You seem when you are in that field, you connect with that. So it's bringing myself out of there, you know, and being able to see things in a different way, in a different light. You know, everybody, when they said, like I said, go right, I went left. Today, I choose to go right, you know.
I love it. I love it. You know, that very last part was the last part that I got out of that was remain teachable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
That was one of my hard life lessons was remain teachable because a long time I always thought I know better.
Valuable.
Yep.
Yep. Stay open-minded, you know. Always be willing to learn something new with an open mind. And if it doesn't fit, then you can toss it out.
I really like this topic a lot because I just talked with my Uber driver actually about this on the way here, about the vibrations, and like, yes sir, I love having these conversations about just remaining, because that's what I've learned. 2023 and some of 22 have been teachable, like always remain teachable like that.
See, and
I've never learned enough. I used to claim to be a know-it-all myself, actually. Like, it was my way or the highway. Like, in life, everyone was out to get me. Like, I didn't want anything to do with you. You were out to get me in some type of way. But in life, I've really learned, like, you really can learn and help and benefit and just work together, and it's so powerful. It's such a cool thing, like, to always like remain like open and teachable to like life and the lessons it can teach you and just everything. I don't know.
I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
For sure. It'll take you further. And I think if that message gets out to more people on
it's
how
good
to
to also
how to
talk about it.
unify and how to unify together in love, that raises the collective consciousness, to where we can all bring ourselves somewhere better, because I used to live for today, just today, and in the moment when I was in my addiction and I didn't care about anything else, and I used to live in the world, and so such a short time that we're here, man, I'm trying to fix that and understand where I'm going, and not stay stuck here. And I could,
Tugs at my heartstrings. I love this.
yeah, and I could say the steps were the catalyst for me that got me to that spot and that thought process of being able to process life and the universe in the same idea, man. Along with that's what I think our recovery is. We're not just recovering from drugs and alcohol.
We're
but we're
recovering
from life.
Exactly.
100%. That's how I see things. That's how it is for me.
It might not be that way for others.
No.
I see it how I like that.
Yeah.
No, like, yeah, the way you put it, like, 100% makes sense, and I don't have anything against any of that, right? Like, I'm not here to recover from drugs and alcohol, right? I'm here to do something different. That was my biggest thing, is that sobriety is not the goal. Sobriety is not the goal at all. Because if that's what the goal was, I woke up this morning sober. Goal accomplished. I don't need to go to this meeting. I don't need to do. Bye, Rick. I don't need to worry about achieving it. Got that. Look, if what I've learned through all of this by sitting down from another alcoholic and another addict that explained all this to me is that I have a malady. And the problem is me. Life is me. Don't you go nowhere.
I was gonna ask, what kind of pops do you have around here? Like soda?
I don't drink soda. I drink water.
Me either, really.
Like
But
Diet
I don't have
Pepsi.
water or nothing.
They have these. But if I learned that I've got this malady, and alcohol and drugs were a symptom of it, right? Like, that's what the book tells me.
Yeah.
That the goal is to live different. The goal is to find what brings me that peace, joy, and happiness. The goal is to live a way that I don't need to get, that I don't have to run from anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Sobriety becomes a side effect.
I don't want to leave the pot.
Yep. Just a new way of living, basically. Not even the sobriety. It's just once you get the sobriety down, then your whole, basically your whole, how would I say this? Pattern changes, lifestyle changes, because you're thinking cautiously, actually, and thinking about the chaos that you endured, and that you have the control to not do that anymore. Like, you know what? Y'all are kind of driving me nuts.
Sobriety is a prerequisite. Right? I just got to be sober enough to learn this and to start practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, then I don't have to stay sober. It becomes a side effect, and it just becomes part of my daily life.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So long as I
exactly.
follow this
Eventually, you're
daily
just
reprieve.
implementing.
Yep. Exactly.
What'd you mumble?
Oh, I said eventually you're just implementing everything into your life, and it just all flows naturally, like a river or something,
Yeah.
like the tide.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Things pop up like anger
Yes.
or greed or financial insecurity. Like those things pop up, but because I've learned how to live differently, I don't have to react on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Exactly. Actually having a way of reaction that's healthy, not in a way of an excuse to be like, well, you know what, this didn't go right. I'm going to go get high or drunk.
and here's another thing. I'm sure Brian teaches the guys that you work with that anger and those other type, they're secondary emotions.
From fear.
From fear.
Fear.
You 90% of the time it's fear. The other 10% of the time it's still fear. It's a fear of I might not attain this, right? So it's usually all reaction. It's a secondary emotion.
See, and I believe that there's only two emotions, love and fear. That human beings run off of two emotions, like foundational emotions, which is love and fear. And you can choose which one you want to run off of,
Right.
Once you learn which one you want to run off of, and you're able to check that before you react, you're able to run off of love, if you choose to run off of that fear, then you're going to run off of fear and anger and everything else that comes along with it.
Exactly.
And for me, when I did that, my coping mechanism for that was to get loaded, you know, and that was a choice that I made.
Masking fear.
Exactly. You feel me? Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Are you just sitting here smelling stuff?
She gave me a gift for my 1 year sobriety. It's perfume.
I wish we had smelling salts.
You want to smell it?
You watch Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah. When he had that
Yeah.
comedian on there and he like took the step, he's like, I have never been more awake in my life.
Yes. Yes.
Do we have anybody else that wants to be on the podcast?
Does anybody else want to be on the podcast? Do it, come on. For my 1 year, you should do it. For my 1 year, you should do it.
All right, so before I kick Brandon off the show, Brandon, what is something, tell me about your gratitude recently.
What am I grateful for?
Yeah, what's your gratitude? What's your recent gratitude?
It's really hard to number it down to one thing, but one thing I'm very grateful for is I am grateful for the just life in general. I'm grateful to be alive because there are so many times in life, like including like my sickness as a child and then with my addiction and my alcoholism, that I should not be here. So I'm just grateful for life every day.
Awesome, I appreciate it. And stick around because we'll bring you back on. We've got a lot of time still.
I know.
So did you find other people that wanted to get on?
Me and my dad can stay here for a little bit longer.
Well, you guys are going to stay on until you leave.
I thought I saw someone that
I know, we're gonna have to leave, like, not soon, but pretty soon, so it doesn't get too late.
Not
'cause
soon, but pretty soon.
Yeah, like around like 9:15, 9:20, because he's still got to pack up and stuff too. Well, I bought him a suitcase because we went shopping, and I have a whole bunch of clothes that I gave him. I was like, I don't need this. You want this? I told him, I was like, this is the joyous thing about having a daughter that wears oversized clothes. Things fit you. So
Does she have style like you do?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's where I got it from. It was funny. We went shopping today, right? And
Helps a little bit.
whatever. But we went shopping today, right? And you know, we were looking at clothes. I was like, look what's coming back into style, like Ed Hardy and stuff, you know. I remember this stuff when I was a kid. It was, you always, yeah, it is. It's back in style. Hi, Mandy. Mandy. But yeah, that's what we were doing. Like, we had a real big sense of style. Like, I was like, yeah, all the stuff that I was like, that you put me in, I was like, it's coming back, and it's crazy. Like Juicy Couture, Baby Fat, Ed Hardy. I remember just getting the like.
Baby fat. Bring me back to like when I was in 6th grade.
Exactly. That's why, yeah. Like, I remember the Ed Hardy, like, what is it,
I
temporary?
think I was like 21.
And what's crazy is, like, what is it? Like, do you remember the.
Fat Farm's back?
I think so. Honestly.
'Cause I still got a bunch of Fat Farm stuff that.
Probably. Because, like, what is it? Because do you remember the little homies when you go to the grocery store?
I love Pocket Homies.
They're
Yeah,
coming back.
Pocket Homies.
They're coming back. Everything is coming back, and it's so funny to me. So me and him were like talking about that when we were walking around, because like there's clothing brands of it now, and we're just like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I get my sense of style from my dad.
Nice. They need to bring back some more Echo gear. I used to love Echo.
They still have that on the West Coast.
I still have my Echo gear from years ago when they still had like the store in Mall of America and stuff. So
I have a pair of sweats that I just bought that have the Echo on the side. It says Echo.
dig it.
Yeah.
Now we all have to go to the West Coast and shop. Miss Gracie and
I'm
Carolyn
down.
and Paul and Chris. I don't know if you know who Chris is, but they're planning on doing a motorcycle ride to go visit him in Oregon.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
bring up my bike next weekend.
that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, like I already, me and my sponsor made the pact that we're gonna put our bikes on the trickle chargers, and Saturday when it's 50-something degrees outside,
That's crazy.
we're taking the
brave.
bikes out.
That's crazy.
Just so I can say I rode in February.
True. I mean, doesn't happen. Who are you though?
Hi everyone. My name's Mandy, and I'm
Hi,
in
Mandy.
recovery.
Hi, Mandy.
I'm an addict. I'm an alcoholic, and I'm trying to recover from all the damage that I've done. So I just kind of put it under that umbrella.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, it's good to be here. Good to see you again.
Good to see you
Yeah.
again. Mandy,
Yes.
tell me what you're doing recently for your recovery.
So something that I've consistently been doing, my fiance and I go to speak at Unity at the inpatient facility to share our experience, strength, and hope. Love doing that. Just volunteered to speak at a meeting, and I am actively sponsoring.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I'm one of them. Yeah.
Put your hands in the air.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's weird. Like I started coming to Will Work, like
Like a month ago now, I would say. Like about a month.
No, even longer than that. It's been
Yeah.
over a month.
what, 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. I don't know.
Long enough.
I came in here like I didn't know anybody. Like I had 3 of my sponsors here. I was like, oh, like I know Rick comes here.
Yep.
So I got Rick, and then like I dragged him here, and then I ran into Brandon. So I was like, oh, all right, cool.
Yep.
Like it's amazing, like seeing like
Community.
community.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Yep.
family, man.
I mean, I yelled at you the first time. I yelled at him the first time I met him, and I felt bad about when I told you you can't park.
Oh yeah. You seen that part of the show?
No.
All right, so here's like the
Rundown.
the real early part of like how I met your dog.
Let's see it.
Pull in, and like I'm only here to help out with the podcast. I don't show up for a meeting or fellowship or anything like that. I'm just a podcast helper. That's what I do. So I get here and I find a spot out there. I'm like, oh, I can fit my truck in there, and I back it up as tight as I can, and I get out and I start walking, and I get across the street, down the sidewalk, and I'm halfway like in between
The doors.
the front door and the back door. So I'm going to the back door for the podcast. And she goes, "You can't park there."
I had to yell at him about it, and then I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, you just can't park there.
Sounds about right.
You watched, like, and I start walking back. I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, she watched me park there,
And walk away.
and then she watched me walk away. So then I even like my one remark to her, I was like, "How come you didn't say anything when I got out of the truck?" She's like, "I'm sorry, but you can't park there."
Yeah, I was like,
Didn't answer the question at all. Just no.
I don't know. I just was like, because I'm not shy, because I will tell you can't park there. I just didn't really, I just didn't want your truck to get towed, basically.
And maybe she waited because she's learned the process of taking a moment to pause before she reacts.
See, my brain was like, she just wanted to see that fat fucker walk down the street. And, just, and, she's like, and then she turned to everybody. She's like, "Watch this. Can't park there."
No, I just,
I didn't end up taking it too personally. I just thought like that's the most hilarious way to like have a first encounter with somebody that like now when I walk in here, she's usually the first one to be like, "Hey, Jake," and I'm like, "Oh, Paris." Right.
I'm like, what's up again? You know? Every time though, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry I yelled at you.
And I didn't even think like I didn't take it as yelling. I was just more like, "Oh,
What the fuck? Yeah. I was like,
I
no.
got all these extra steps in that I didn't want to."
Hey, at least you got him in though, right? But yeah, no. It's the first time I met Jake.
What other things have I been asking people? I haven't used any of these. I don't use those.
Oh, I forgot to mention the most important thing that I'm doing for recovery.
What is that?
Well, it's not the most. Well,
One
it's
of them.
important.
It's on the top.
It's up there. I'm here every single Friday night to help keep the doors open so people have a safe place to be with other sober, recovering individuals. Every Friday night from 8 o'clock until
The doors are midnight, basically.
basically midnight, or if people tend to wander off a little bit sooner, maybe we'll close sooner. But so for anybody listening, if you want a place to be, this is where it's at.
Yeah.
Tad and I are here every Friday night.
Yeah, I get excited. I'm like, man, he's coming. I was like, it's chit
Play some
chat
Go
there.
Fish.
No, we do Pictionary.
Oh my god.
We
We
play
should play
Pictionary.
Life one day. Can we play Life?
Life's been playing me, man. I don't know about you, but I'm just saying.
So then let's play it.
No, I was actually talking to my daughter about bringing some new games, but bringing some fun other stuff in there. We've done Pictionary recently, but that's another thing. You don't have to wait and see what kind of games we have here. You can bring your own. We can do whatever. We can do a movie night. I keep threatening. I wanted to do Die Hard over Christmas because Die Hard shouldn't be everyone's favorite Christmas movie, right?
Yeah.
Any of them is fine.
Did you ever figure out the TV for Die Hard?
No, I didn't figure out the TV for anything.
Oh.
I'll put that all on Tad.
Yeah, true. Well, if Carolyn's here long enough too, you can just be like, help.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
I know I've asked you the question in the past about like what is something you had to learn the hard way.
Oh, what did I end up saying? Oh, I remember what I said.
You remember
And
what
it's
you
still is. I remember what I said.
This is still your
I-
hardest lesson.
Oh, absolutely. I am not smarter than my addiction. I'm not
That's right.
smarter than the substances. They won every single time, no matter how much negotiating, manipulation, changing up the style, the method, anything, any of that. Guess what? I still got in a deeper and darker place every single time. Every time. Hard lessons learned.
Oh, I remember a question. So, what is something that you can give away right now to somebody who might be struggling?
My time. Time is the most valuable thing on this planet.
It really is.
It is. So if you can give somebody some of your time, and if you do it with patience and grace, it can really go a long way.
Especially, if it's working with others, then it's just buying insurance policy for my recovery. Right?
Yeah.
That's something that I always tell, like, every guy that I ever sit down and work with him. I always tell him, like, I might get more out of this than you will. And I make it very clear that I'm going to learn from you as well in this whole thing. Right? Like, I'm going to teach you the spiritual tools that I have been taught, but I'm going to learn from you in the process.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely. And I think, so I used to always be that person. I always wanted to help people, like always, right? That's been part of who I am. But I was always that person that would tell people how to do things, right? And in recovery, that's another hard lesson that I've had to learn through my history is that it's not me telling people what to do, but I can share my experience. I can share what did work for me, what didn't work for me, and people can come to their own conclusions on what's going to work for them. And maybe they're going to be right, maybe they're going to be wrong, but it's not up to me to decide any of that. So just trying to help have a conversation with somebody, understand where they're coming from. And it's funny, my youngest who's here, she's like, I always get so sick of it when you tell me about stuff because you always just talk about how it happened for you. And I'm like, I have been trained for this. This is all I do now. I can only share my experience.
You're like, I'm
strength, and hope.
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even do the parent. I parent her, granted, but I try to do it from a place of understanding instead of like, did you ever have 14?
okay.
14. She's that little goth thing over there with the furry
little
boots.
goth thing?
The little goth thing. She
goth
turned emo.
girl.
She turned emo.
I love it. I
She
mean,
turned
we all, I had a stage when I was her age.
We all do.
I had an emo.
I don't
or-
think
well,
he did.
I had a goth phase.
No, my dad never did.
No.
You didn't.
No.
You didn't even like rock the Jenkos or anything.
Edgy punk?
No. Like I said, I was in the streets. So it was a little different.
Yeah.
I wish I could say it, but yeah. But no.
So I have a question, Brian, that
up?
I'm very curious.
Yeah.
And I know I asked her a long time ago about it when she brought up, like, oh, my dad does this and he helps out with the
kids,
juveniles and
yeah.
all sorts of stuff. Being in recovery yourself, and then also being a parent to someone in recovery, is there a separation between recovery peer-to-peer and the father-daughter part? Or does it blend in a certain way that doesn't blend for in any other way?
It's different, yeah. The relationship that I have with my kids is deep, really deep. Where I'm at with the kids that I work with, I try to show them unconditional love, right? No conditions with it, the same thing that I would do for my children. But at the same time, I have to remain professional. With my kids at their age today, I can be their friend too, I don't have to sit with that professional side and keep in mind ethics.
You get to be dad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I'm at work, there's a code of ethics that I have to work with. Sometimes I bend it a little bit because, like these kids, to be relatable. When I talk with the POs, I talk to them the way I'm talking to you, in a sense. When I talk to the kids, I'll drop F-bombs, and I know their street slang, you know. So when they talk about certain things, I can talk back with them about it, you know, with the language that they use. You know what I'm saying? Does
Did
that
you
make
have
sense?
to learn that because like you did talk about when you're when you're talking with these kids how much it does relate and how you're able to share your experience with them, how you're able to also identify some of the same things that were within you.
Yeah.
Did you have to learn that separation or maybe that button, so to say, between mentor and dad?
No.
No?
No. I've been through a ton of training. You know, the first like 4 months of like I've been sitting through training after training, 8 hours a day. You know, 40 hours a week of like solid training. You know, so before you get tossed into that little pool, you kind of know how to swim with it. You know.
You learned the switch prior to.
Most definitely. And it's I don't know how to explain it. But I work one-on-one with kids, but then I'm working with a group of kids. So their energy with each other too makes it a little easier to be a little more professional, you know, in that setting. So, but I do have my favorites, you know, when it comes down to some of them, I do have my favorites, dude, you know. But I wouldn't tell them that, you know. Right. But some of them are easy to work with. Some of them are a little more difficult. I tend to see the ones that are more difficult. I see myself more in them, you know, and that's probably why it's difficult for me. You know?
Well, I know I'm his favorite kid out of the kids he has.
Well, he actually did write down which one is his favorite, and I have it written down right here.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
want to know the answer?
Me.
We won't go there.
Well, I know that I'm the one that has the closest relationship with him too. So.
That's true.
And did that happen prior to recovery, or did it get deeper after you?
It's
got
always
sober?
been like that since I was a baby. Like,
Are you the youngest?
I'm the middle.
You're the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the middle kid.
So you don't suffer from middle child syndrome.
At least not with him. Maybe with my mom a little bit, but even then, she makes all of us suffer with middle child syndrome. She's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, love you.
Yeah, she was always a daddy's girl,
Yeah.
you know.
My
Ever since she was a
grandparents.
little baby.
Yep.
Is she the only girl?
No.
No.
No,
Nope,
not even.
nope,
No.
nope.
Yeah, that's how I roll. Like, my grandparents were like, when I went to go visit them, they're like, wait. Come on, Bears. You know, that's how it worked. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going with him. And even then, it's like, I think, because we've talked about it in the past, like even before I got sober, like, you know, I was like, being a kid, I just know that I was like way beyond my years, like way beyond, because like we would sit and talk all the time, like how we're talking now, basically. Like that's how like me and my dad would talk. Like there was no like, there wasn't a filter. Like there was, but a point where it was like he looked at me like that's my kid, but that she's way beyond her years, so I'm not gonna like I'm gonna treat her like a kid in certain extents, but like talking wise, like we're gonna talk like adults basically.
I've always
so.
been really honest with my kids, and I don't know if that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Maybe not with the others. Me.
but I've always been like, hey, look, I'm an open book. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's something I don't want to break with you guys, no matter where I was at in life. It's something I don't want to break with you guys. Is that trust? I think it's very.
I feel that.
I think it's very important to make sure that that's there and to be transparent. And I could circle that back with what the question you asked me. That's where it gets a little different, because there's with the kids that I work with, there's transparency, but there's only so much. I won't let them in like my personal life. You know, I tell them a little bit about my personal life, but my personal life's my personal life. And they know, my kids know me
Yeah.
on a different level my whole life, you know,
Yeah.
and wide open with it.
The only thing that they know on a personal level is like that I'm in like recovery, because he
Yeah.
talks about that with them.
They
like
know that she's in recovery. One of my other kids went to
behavioral stuff. Yeah.
went to a place called Outdoors.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
some called.
Where they go throw you in the woods for like a
Make
few
you
months.
survive. You know,
I,
it doesn't it though, but
not, I said, you know what? Carve your own spoons, make your own fire, and build your own tent, man.
But also,
I'm
like,
down.
I think
Let's
that's where
do
the
this.
alcoholism in me, where I'm like, oh, chaos kind of sounds fun.
Well, I think it's like the difference for us, at least. It was like, you know, if we know what's going on, like, we're down for that. So, because I would do it too. Like, I love doing that. Like, just going out, nobody has like contact with me. Not to scare anybody, but like, I like it because then I have a peace of mind, you know, like, go somewhere nice and just like, because there's a spot up in Oregon that I know of. It's the Umpqua Falls. There's literally nothing out there. Like, you have to drive 20 miles to the next town to get gas. So if you want to get gas and you're at a half tank, do it now. Or you're stuck up in the mountains, man. But yeah, no, like, yeah, that's how it's always been since I was a kid, though. And it's like, it's just, we have a different type of closeness, I would say, than my other siblings and my mom, because it's just, I've talked about this before too, like on the podcast. Like, you know, my mom is my mom, but she's not a mother. I love her either way because she's my mom. I can't not love her. But it's a difference because it's like, for me, I have a parent that's willing to be a parent, and that's my dad. So I take complete full advantage of that. I'm like, cool. I'm like, I'm gonna take advantage of that. It's like this, and also just having a male figure to actually like look up to and stuff, because I think just in this generation, a lot of people, they lack that, and it's not their fault. It's just the male figure that's in their life, you know. And I feel blessed for it, because it's like, I've met many kids that are like, do you have a dad? I was like, yeah. They're like, well, where is he? I'm like, he lives in a different state. They're like, well, are you close to him? Yeah, I talk to him like every other day. They're like, well, what is he like? And I tell him, oh, my dad's like this, and you know, we got a good relationship. He's gone through a lot of stuff. And then they're like, your dad's still in school. I think you'd like me. I was like, I think my dad would look at me and be like, what the fuck are you doing with these idiots? So I was like, there's a different thought process here for sure. But, you know, it's just, that's something I'm blessed for, because it's like, I have him, and then I have his brother too. And I just take full advantage of that, because on my mom's side, it's not like that, you know. Like, all my family lives in one area, but they're either struggling with addiction, or they haven't taken the time to actually like look at within themselves and try to like fix the situation about themselves. So even if it's not addiction, it's also just mental stuff, like mental stuff. And usually when that comes in, addiction comes in, because it runs high on both sides of my family. I don't know why I ever fucking got into it, but here we are. But yeah, you know, it's just, I try to take full advantage of that, because I feel like, why wouldn't I? You know, if I have one parent that I can love either way, they're not a parent, I love them. But if I can actually hang out with and talk with and like tell them like basically everything, yeah, most definitely. Because like, my mom will ask me like, well, what were you doing when you were high? I don't even know what you were doing when you were high. What are you talking about? But, you know, I'll tell my dad. He was like, well, what were you on? Like, what were you doing? And I was like, well, I was struggling with this and I was struggling with that. And he was like the person I called all the time when I was in jail. I was like, thank God somebody I don't know who put money on my books, but
You.
no.
No.
I was like, what's him? I know that.
He straight looked. He's like, no.
Yeah,
So-
no.
I have a question then. So I have a parent that is in recovery too. And I found that through my own recovery journey, my relationship with him has grown that much stronger. We have yet another connection to have. And
Yeah.
when it's something on a spiritual level,
Yeah.
it's crazy the conversations that we have now. Have you noticed any of that with
Well,
your
yeah,
conversations?
I guess, yeah, because it's like, not to put down my other siblings, like, because I know he loves all of us very equally. It's just like my older sibling, they're in a very different spot in their life, you know, because, like, for example, we got a tattoo in August. Haven't heard from them since, because they're all mad about it. So, but that's because they have their own things going on that they got to figure out mentally, emotionally, and, you know, they're probably even struggling with an addiction too. And, you know, we can't do anything about that. Like, I know I love them. I know that he will love them unconditionally too. And my younger sibling, is kind of a little hellraiser, you know. He just very self-destructive, and it's like, so me and him will sit there and talk about it, and I'm like, I don't get it sometimes. Like, not in a way of like putting him down. I was like, I don't get it. I was like, you know, like, we all were raised with the same stuff going on. I was like, I know it affects everybody differently. I was like, but I just don't understand, like, especially for my older one. I'm like, why haven't you gotten it? You know, like I'm here trying to help you. And I was like, you're my older sibling. And I was like, but I want to be able to help you too. And, you know, and you know, they don't they don't talk to him. My younger one still struggles to kind of open up because I think it's just a scared fact of accepting what, you know, is right from wrong, because they know right from wrong. It's just, I think it's the fact of actually putting themselves in that situation of like, wait, I'm in the wrong right now. And he doesn't do that. Like, you know, he doesn't sit there and be like, oh, it's okay. Like, just, you know, like if you fuck up, he's going to be like, oh, you know, it's okay. He'll just be like, well, now look. And when I was in jail, he's like, look, you got a taste of it. Not fun, huh?
There's one or two ways you can look at this. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You can learn from it, or
Exactly.
Continue to have the experience until you've learned the lesson.
Yeah.
And I had somebody when I was under the influence, somebody told that to me, and my mind was blown. And I will never forget how he said it, everything, because that was all my cycles, all my patterns that I had, and it was just finally the light bulb clicked off, and it's like, oh man, I've been messing this all up, dude.
Right.
Why do I keep going through? I keep putting myself through this, and that's that accountability piece, right? I've owned that in my recovery as best as I can. So anyway,
Yeah. No, yeah, I get that completely.
Can I shift
Sorry.
gears? Okay, so you mentioned you've always been honest with your children, right?
yeah.
Is it the same thing for you?
my child's going to be here when I speak and tell my story. And I said, are you okay listening to that? I'm not going to subject them to that and force them to hear all of my tales, good, bad, or otherwise. But I definitely open book, and I flat out tonight just straight up said to her, I was like, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it because my kid's there. Just so you know, it's going to be my story, like exactly how I choose to tell it. And you might hear things in a different way than you've normally heard them from me, but it's all just me because I don't hold anything back. Now, I'm not going to share every terrible experience that I went through, but she knows about the time that we were talking about phones, and she knows about the time that my phone got thrown out of a car going 50 miles an hour over stupid stuff. Still works. 5-year-old phone. Love that thing. But
Hell
she knows how stupid her mom has been in the past. I've made really poor choices, and I own up to it.
So with that honesty, tell me how the tooth fairy conversation went.
We didn't have that.
How the tooth fairy conversation went. I just said put it under the pillow, and then
Well,
they would wake up.
no.
And there's a little bit of money under there.
No, you actually made it very special. I don't know if you remember, but because I was like, oh, it's like Santa Claus. So I'd write the fairy notes. He would write them back to me,
I did.
and then I figured out after a while this is my dad's handwriting.
Same thing. With
So
Santa
it's just
Claus.
like we never had that conversation. I was just like, oh, it's my dad. Cool. I was like, I lost all my teeth. Yeah, I was like, I lost all my teeth. I looked at the notes, and then I looked at my birthday cards, and I was like, something seems a little bit similar. I was like, he's the tooth fairy. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, he said, no, I just put, no, you don't want to tell all the sweet stuff that you did.
Oh, yeah, she'll tell you all the sweet stuff. I remember putting just money under the pillow, and I was going to say with a little, and let it play. The tooth fairy was whoever she wanted it to be. Now Santa Claus, on the other hand, there was a Santa Claus, for sure. You know, he got to take credit for all the good presents.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No. But yeah, because that's the thing is like anything that was mythical or whatever, my dad like made it special. And same with my grandparents. Like we'd go over to his parents' house, and my grandma would put powdered sugar or like a little bit of coal and like shake it around a big boot. And then I remember one day I was up, I was sleeping, and we were at my grandparents' house, and he came and woke me up. He was like, look, Santa. And it's like somebody's like magic lights, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's cool. But yeah, no, I remember one time I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Because this is how I also figured out the tooth fairy wasn't real. So I'm going to hide my tooth. He never found it. I was like, oh, all right. So, yeah. But, yeah, no, there was a lot of things that were cool. Like, he would do magical stuff, you know, to make it very magical. And one thing was like, even if I became like into the darkest parts of my life, he always supported everything I wanted to do. It's also like people are like, you're spoiled, aren't you? I was like, well, my dad never said no. And I was like, and now I have a boyfriend that never says no. I was like, so I don't really know. I was like, so yeah, I was like, I'm humbleized. I was like, but you know, I was like, I've never had somebody just tell me no. Because like I told I want to be a veterinarian. All right, any animal I seen, any animal I saved, like I found outside, he was like, okay, like what is it? Like when I was little, we ended up with like 20 cats and 15 dogs.
Yeah. That's about right. Yeah. 2 goats.
Yeah.
Fainting goat.
chickens.
Fainting goat.
Yeah.
Chickens.
You know how long I've said that I've wanted a fainting goat.
I had one. His name was Bean.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. And then what was it? Another thing I remember very vividly, actually, and he was surprised, is we were living in Oregon, and I go down to the field, and I find this, like, the baby turkey's like the size of me, though. Like, when I was little, I go and I grab it. I walk up to the house. I was like, look what I found. He's like, the fuck did you find that? I was like, the family left it behind.
Did the family come looking for it?
No.
So you guys had a turkey at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, turkeys, snakes. We'd catch all types of stuff. Just cats, dogs. I had a turtle named him Mr. Turtle. He ran away. Like, actually. Like, he actually ran away.
That's what I said. The same thing. I said, hey, look, the turtle, she wants to bring it out in the yard. I said, okay, keep an eye on it. It's a turtle.
I went to the go get
She
some
said
water.
it ran away.
No, I swear to I'm not even making this up. I'm 20 years old. This happened when I was like 6, okay?
I said, it's a turtle. How did it run away?
He was fast. Yeah. Pretty sure a hawk probably swooped it
I
up.
got nothing on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Anything and everything. Yeah, just whatever I wanted to do. I wanted to do music. My dad had the great idea to buy me a drum kit when I was like. So I had a drum kit when I was little, and I'd be up playing it, and he'd be up in his room, and all you hear is. Then just I broke it because I played it so much. Pianos, guitars, all types of stuff. You know, he also made music when I was younger, so I'd go play in his studio all the time and like press stuff and like make things.
See, I was very young when my dad first told me no, and I found out it's because he's cheap. And it's because, like, I was like, I want to be in Boy Scouts. And that's because, like, all the other neighborhood boys were in Boy Scouts. So I'm like, I want to do that stuff. Like, they're doing cool stuff. And really, I was like, they get to set fires. But, like, you know,
Pyro.
he brings me to the, like, orientation thing. And my dad, I will never forget, like, we're sitting there, and I'm like this, like, just wide-eyed, listening
Excited.
to this guy's whole thing. And my dad's standing there. $32 for a belt? And he just looked down at me. He's like,
Can't do that.
This ain't happening.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything though. Like even cheer. I would cheer. And I remember we got to go
and
to,
even supported you through your goth phase?
I was living with him. I just stayed in my room all the time and I just listened to all types of stuff, but now I show him all this music. I love you. I'll see you later.
The teenage angst years.
Yeah.
That's what I call them
Love
with
you,
my
Miss
child.
Gracie.
She ever gives me a dirty look, I just tell her she's full
Dad.
of teenage angst.
Dad,
Teenage angst.
this is Jocelyn. Hi. Yeah.
Hi,
Love you.
Jocelyn.
See you later.
I've got
Yeah,
the black
go
version
ahead.
of the dress on tonight. Really? Yeah.
But yeah, no, everything. Because I remember what was it? We got to when I was little. We got to go to the Oregon Ducks Stadium and like go cheer.
Yeah, they
Cool
got to
stuff.
cheer for the Ducks,
It's cool.
along with the Ducks cheerleaders. It was
I'm
pretty
so
cool.
sorry.
They did some competition
I was
stuff. It
in
was pretty neat.
Vegas during Pac-12 championship, and I was rooting for Huskies.
That's okay.
Because like when we were there, like I saw all the Oregon Ducks and all the Husky stuff, and I wasn't there. And I'm like, what the hell? Why is everybody here to bet on the game? And then we were at the Cosmo, and the suite that we had looked right at Allegiant Stadium, and I was like, oh, it's right there. Like, okay, now I get it. But the spread that they put out on that game was 7.5, and I was like, Pac-12 is not going to be decided by over a touchdown. No. So I was like, money on Huskies to cover the spread. So, but
Huskies,
What's the end
yeah.
of that story look like?
well, they got the brakes beat off them in the national championship.
Damn.
But a Pac-12 team got to the national championship. So that's why I was like, this is great. It's not there's not a single SEC team in the national.
Yeah.
So I was like super. I was pretty like. College football is amazing again.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
I just got so tired of like always Alabama or always Georgia.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's fun for like NFL or whatever, but like you gotta give the college boys some chances, you know. Like they know how to throw down. Exactly. So throw down. Throw down. But yeah, no. Honesty was always a big thing. Besides with like the magical stuff of life as a child and, you know, keeping that innocence, my dad was like all for it. He was like, yeah. And he was like, I'll talk to them like adults, but they'll still believe in the goddamn tooth fairy.
See, but he can help you figure out all the magic that's going on around you today in recovery. I mean,
Yes.
if you think that your higher power doesn't have a little magic that's working with it, I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. So
I like this lady.
that's why she's gonna help me with step work. Yep.
Okay.
But
Your dad approves of your sponsor.
Yes.
I think he approves of both of them, to be honest, because I have Mandy and Miss Gracie. So
Well, obviously,
you got Miss Gracie.
I know I got Miss Gracie too. Don't even think.
See? But
That woman taught me boundaries.
mhm.
We were in the car one day. So I was, when I first came back into recovery, because relapse was a part of my story, but I was so sick of my own crap, and my higher power showed me enough magic, enough profound things happened
Yeah.
leading up to me finally having things and listening when my higher power grabbed me by the ears. And I didn't trust anyone. I was scared of people because I didn't trust myself. So I was super awkward around people socially. I didn't want to go out, but I forced myself to do it so I could try and find
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And Miss Gracie was huge in helping me through that because I was like doormat Mandy. I would let people cross every boundary that I set with them, and I just was okay with it. And it's funny because I see the more boundaries that I let people cross, the deeper I had gotten into my addiction because I kept
Yeah.
letting more and more stuff go, things that were part of my that were part of my ethics system. Letting those go, I was losing pieces of me through
Right,
that
exactly.
process. So trying to gain that back. I remember I'm sitting in the car with Miss Gracie outside of a store, and we're over in South Minneapolis, and this dude tries to come up and holler through the door or the window, and she just leans back and looks at him. She's like, no, no, no. And he's like, no. And I was just like, wait, you can do that? Oh my, like I'm always so overly polite to strangers, and it's just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give this a try. So I remember like when we would do sober bowling on Thursday nights, I'd sit there and people would say something. People think they can get away with saying certain things, and I learned how to check them on that because I got enough respect for myself. If level of respect, I'm going to tell you can't be a part of this conversation anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd literally be sitting there and somebody say something off the wall, and I'd be like, boundaries. Boundaries. And it's funny because Tad, he's like, I knew you liked me because you never did that with me. And now we're engaged. So I mean, I guess that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's what she's good at, is like somebody that you can talk to and like get that boundary, and then like, you know, somebody to have that like connection with, where it's like you and I will connect on that level of like, okay, well, how do I open up, or like how do I do this? Because it's like you can be like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having more than one sponsor, you know, having somebody that like can mentor you in a feeling and be there for you like in emotional, like, and somebody that can mentor you into the way of getting deeper within yourself, like, okay, like this shit's hard and I'm here to help you like in the best way I can with my experience. you know?
I hope you work the steps.
We will. I think me and Mandy will.
I think it's after I sat there and I checked her on the step work that she's like, you know what? Speaking of steps, because I was like, listen, this is how we pound it out. And I went on a slight rampage one night about the step work.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? This seems like the lady that will help me. That's basically how that went. I
Yeah.
was like, she seems like she's gonna help me. Someone just ask her. So yeah, then we exchanged numbers.
I think that's important.
It
and,
is.
And I think for myself, like a connection with God, whatever your higher power is, mine's God, you know, and staying connected 100%, you know, and not straying from that. For myself, that's what works. I hope she'll be able to work the steps and find the magic within that, because something magical happens, you know. My sponsor tells me
You watch one of those really deep movies, and every time you catch something new, the steps are the exact same way, because it's how it's impacting your life today, and things that you may have not acknowledged before, or something that may have happened since. I'm currently going through my steps again with a new sponsor, just to get a different perspective on things, and because I'm further out than I was when I first got in there. So
Right.
making sure that I do a full inventory? Have I not done enough in my 10th step where I'm checking myself? Like how is my step work working for me today as I'm working the steps?
Yeah.
Right? So
You're in a
Exactly.
different place in your life, you know, and when you work them again, it's different things that come up
Right.
along the way, you know. He's been bugging me about it, you know, my sponsor. Like, let's do them again, but whenever you're ready. And he keeps asking me, so you're ready? Are you ready? And I'm like, shit, there's a reason for this, you know. So,
My sponsor, after I had gotten done, he said, "Do you want to go through the steps again?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Like, life's gotten so much better.
it's so much
Yeah.
better, right?
Like, why? I'm not afraid to do this. Like,
Right.
He's like, "Go teach them then." Because like I had so much fear about sponsoring in the beginning because I thought like I'm going to kill a guy. I'm like like
Yeah, straight up.
what I'm going to sit here and do is like I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell them the wrong thing or I'm going to trigger something wrong or whatever else. I'm not going to be able to help somebody and it's going to be my fault. And I can say now today like I can't tell you how many people I've sponsored. I've lost count. Like I stopped counting. But I have a 100% success rate.
Nice.
I
Hell
stayed
yeah.
sober,
Nice.
right? Like that's
Congratulations.
the thing. I stayed sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I have a 100% success rate.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Because I continue to do these steps, the 12 step, and because it's an everlasting thing. I keep carrying this message. I keep teaching it. That way, I get to keep hanging on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's worked. I stayed sober.
And we're going to continue to stay students of life throughout the process because we don't graduate the program in recovery. They're going to go through the 12 steps. It's not like I graduate, I'm done. Peace out, everybody.
Right.
See you later. I had somebody say that to me. I'm never going to graduate from this. And I was like, oh, man, I'm stuck in school forever with my recovery. But it's not a bad thing. I get to do that.
Yeah.
And because it's every time I work through step work or I have something spiritually happening for me in my program, that's a growth opportunity for me. And stagnancy in my life in general, even before I started working a solid recovery program, was terrible for me. If I'm not growing, I'm not enjoying life.
I'm with you on that. I
Seriously.
wake up, I want to do something good for somebody else in my day. I want to learn one thing new every single day, you know, and if I don't do that, I kind of feel a little funky by the end of the day.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's I was just talking to somebody today about gratitude statements, about helping rewire our brain to make sure that we're putting something out there positive in the universe and appreciating everything that's going. Why are you looking at me like you look? Oh man, have you been talking to my daughter? You're giving me the same look she gives me.
It's a daughter look. It's a daughter look. I do that all the time.
But I mean, and the reason I talk about gratitude statements like that because my very first sponsor, that was her task for me, and that really worked well for me. So again, that's still part of me sharing my experience is, okay, I need to rewire my brain. I did a lot of things that created really negative neural pathways in the process of my use to where I was only seeing negative things. I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know, here's a way for me to be okay and accepting life on life's terms.
Right.
Like even if I had the worst possible day ever, I can guarantee I can find at least 3 amazing things that I'm grateful for in that day.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Yeah. I'm
Just-
excited to do all that stuff with you.
Just one little comment about that graduation thing. I was 3 months sober, and we went. I was at the Gopher State Roundup, and they were going on the motorcycle rally run. Right? So I was like, "Yeah, sweet! Like, I want to go on a sober rally." And we get out to Henderson, cute little ice cream shop. On the way back, the group kind of started to separate, and I was in the back part of this group, and I'm doing 80. These guys are still pulling away. And eventually, all brake lights, and a guy wiped on the highway. He didn't make it. But one thing that they all said was he graduated. He died sober.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the goal is to do this to the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So those guys were all like the guys that were they kept saying like you graduated.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, that's deep.
Profound.
Right.
That's deep.
But when I got back to the Gopher State, I was full of fear.
You're like, fuck that. Yeah.
I was like shaking, and I'm like, and I think the other part of that
Said
too
I
is
ain't
like,
ready to graduate yet.
right, and like I always rode with no helmet,
Oh.
and the whole reason this guy actually died was because his head hit the highway.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, he would have survived it.
Right.
So like I rode with no helmet, and I'm full of fear on that. And then I'm also sitting there just like shaking, because the other profound thing about this whole thing was like I was like 12 days off Suboxone.
Oh wow.
So like I just triggered like a panic thing in me, and I'm like sitting there just sweating, and everyone's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, not at all, not even a little bit."
Right. You're like I'm here though. You know,
But I'm here.
Yeah. Exactly.
And there's a guy. He's like, "Fear inventory. Let's do this right now." I'm like, "Now I'm pumping with adrenaline. Now."
Yeah.
So I did it, and then eventually the adrenaline wore off, and I'm like, "I'm ready for a nap."
Yeah. You know, can we pull over to rest area and just?
Yep.
So then last year I decided not to go on the rally.
Right. Right.
I-
Don't need that.
I think this year I'm like, I'm not gonna let fear control my life,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go on this rally. I'm gonna wear a helmet, the whole fun thing.
I'm gonna try to go to Gopher State, but it falls on like the same week of like my birthday, and that's when I'm planning time with my family too. So it comes like
Didn't you have a birthday last year?
I have a birthday every year.
Now she gets to have 2 of them too. Hey.
Yeah, so that's like the one thing is like I want to go to Gopher State, but I have to plan out because it's like probably over time too. I'll just be like, I'll go do recovery stuff.
When the
Screw all y'all.
There's great news. Gopher State is not the only convention where people in recovery get together.
I know. There's
There
like
are
Monac-
Current right now to host the 2025 International Convention of Young People in Alcoholics Anonymous
Where
in
at?
Minneapolis.
Oh, cool. You have to let me know. I want to know.
I'm on the bid team. We're working on it.
Yeah, let me know when it goes through because I would love to go. So we even talked about the one in Washington D.C., like one of the biggest ones, and going one day, like one of those.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I went to one. Gracie was there too. A bunch of us went to one out in Ohio. It was in Amish country. We literally were passing horses with buggies as we're going along, and we're in this giant barn. You see, it
Hell
was
yeah.
absolutely. It was crazy.
Yeah, I love
Crazy
those
awesome.
people.
Seriously,
Yes.
discipline.
They know how to live.
Discipline.
They know how to
There is-
live.
Ah,
Yeah.
There's
There.
a big one like over around Labor Day in
Yep.
Beaver, Utah.
Mhm.
Like it's huge.
Yeah.
And it attracts. And people have told me like you really got to go to this at least once in your life. And the first thing somebody asked me about it was like, or told me about it was like, there are old Vegas call girls that go there and share their story
Which is
about
insane.
getting sober, and they're like, it's so real, but it's so good. And I'm like, I gotta check this out.
Right.
I gotta hear this.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk about that all the time. What was it? I know that people went to Wisconsin Monac, and I actually told my dad, I was like, because my dad listens to.
got me. Got me. Super nice.
And so that's cool. And I was like, but I think that's really cool that he's out there sharing a story, not within his music either. Like he does it with his music, but he's also just going face to face with people and like telling them like straight up. And I think it's really amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we should probably go make sure nobody robbed the truck with all of our clothes in it. So.
I did.
Oh damn it, Jake.
I already did.
But we'll do gratitudes. Grateful I made it a year. Grateful I'm hanging out with my dad and I have a warm bed to sleep in and food in my stomach. Thanks for having me. I'm back next week.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Brian, what's your gratitude before you leave?
I'm grateful I was able to come out here and support her through this. I'm grateful I have a beautiful wife to go home to that I have an amazing relationship with and a healthy relationship with. And I'm grateful that I'm in the position that I'm in today. And I'm grateful for my higher power.
Right on.
Thank you, guys.
Brian, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jake, I'll see you next week. And I'll text you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
Yes.
It was amazing meeting you. Hold on. You're gonna have to keep the masses at bay.
I will keep going, keep the masses at bay, and continue on with the show. And we got really a great opportunity to have Brian on the show. A lot of experience, strength, and hope were shared. And I don't know if any of you guys got anything that that you really appreciated, but a lot of that stuff came straight from his heart, and I really appreciated every moment of that. So, Brian, when you go back to listen to this, I really appreciated you coming on the show. Who do I have on?
Yeah, who are you?
Oh, I'm Ace.
Ace?
Yeah.
Ace, like letter Ace?
A-C-E.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Explain it the way you explained it to Grandma Mary.
Oh, there were these trash cans outside of Tad's grandma's house, and They said Ace on them, and I said, if you ever forget my name, just look at the trash cans.
And then my grandma's like, "How's your garbage kid?" one day. And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "'Cause she said she was like the garbage can."
Yeah, I was almost gonna have fisticuffs with grandma over that, but it was okay.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. Ace, have you been on the show before?
No.
Well, welcome. This is your first time on the show.
Yeah, she always says hell no, basically.
You always say hell no?
Always.
Why is that?
I don't want to.
Why,
She's-
it's not the cool thing to do at 14?
I guess.
She's been coming to the podcast, though, for over 2 years. Just because she hasn't been on, she has been hanging out for
Yeah.
over 2 years.
So we finally got her on.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
All right, let's got a good little thing here. Thad, I've asked you so many questions. You can just sit there and be pretty.
He's talking to you, Tad. I'm just kidding.
It's all right.
You can just
You
sit there
can
and be
ask these
pretty.
questions
No, I was talking about the
afterwards.
sitting there and being pretty.
Yeah, sit there and be pretty.
That's what I'm doing. if you need a hype man, I'll chip in a little bit. Otherwise, I'm sitting here and being pretty.
Be prettier.
Yeah.
All right, Ace. What is one superpower you wish you had?
Invisibility.
Why?
I don't know. I think it would be interesting to spy on people.
Ooh, so you want to check people on their integrity and they think nobody's watching?
Yeah, nice save, Mom. That's not what she wants to do.
I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to spy on my friends.
What kind of information are you hoping to find out?
I don't know. Just to see what they say about me and stuff.
What about you, Ted? Superpower.
So I've been changing it every time I've been asked this question. Yeah, because so last time it was I could make your head explode if I wanted, and isn't that great?
Over.
Oh, no, I'm changing it now.
Yeah, what have you
So I think I would like to make everyone's thoughts appear. So
Like it's
like
a
if
lit-
you
literal
whatever you're
bubble?
thinking when I look at you, everyone see it like in a big thought bubble, like a
Oh,
movie.
so only when you look at
Yeah,
them.
when I look at someone, I can see everyone.
If
Everyone like.
Immediately, if I saw you walk in the room, I'd be running out the door.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Like, there he's gone.
Do you know how much fun you could have with that?
The thought bubble you'd see above me is, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Well, so then I'd have to I'd have to work with Ace so that like hold her so I'd be invisible and then we could do it that way.
But couldn't people see Ace's thought bubbles above her head then, knowing that?
I just wouldn't look at it.
Like, why is there a random thought bubble? Somebody must be invisible next to Tad.
Maybe.
Ace, what is your dream job?
Dream job? Tattoo artist.
You want to be a tattoo artist?
I do, yeah.
What inspires you? Do you like to do art?
Yeah, I go to an art school.
Really? Are you at Purpich?
What?
Are you at Purpich?
No, I'm at PIM.
Yeah, now what?
PIM.
Him?
PIM. PIM.
I don't know what that stands for, but
Performing Arts Institute of Minnesota.
okay.
I think they should add like professionals after that so she can call it pimp.
Yeah, I go to Pimp.
She doesn't like when we say that.
Yeah, she does. That's not the first time I told her
Ace,
that.
how's your Pim hand?
Is it strong?
Do you like to hang out with all the other Pims?
See, this is why she didn't want to come on the podcast. Because we're embarrassing.
I love it. What is your dream job?
What is my dream job? Oh man, it changes all the time. For a long time, I wanted to do this for a living, but like now, really, I would like. That's a hard question. What do I want to be when I grow up? I mean, right now, I think I wanna be an exterminator. That's my dream job at the moment. I've talked to my buddy about it, and I've been looking into it, and that's what I want to do.
My neighborhood has like 6,000 feral cats.
Okay. So if I get my dream job, you're calling me, and I'm okay. But I like cats, so that just sounds.
Relocate 'em.
So that just sounds like I end up with 6,000 cats in my backyard, and Mandy's pissed at me. That's what that sounds like.
That's
He
just
already,
a good deal.
he already threw like 6 pounds of lettuce in our backyard tonight to feed the rabbits. I was like, what are we gonna do if when they don't eat it and we have all this rotting lettuce in our yard because it's warm enough to rot? And he's like, well, I'll clean it up. Because that's what he did last year when he did the exact same thing.
But it was in the middle of winter, and they didn't know, and it snowed on it, so they couldn't find it this last time.
Yeah, see, he's setting up so he has a yard full of rabbits for when he brings 6,000 cats so they have something to eat.
Oh,
Poor
no.
Bun Bun.
Yeah, Bun Bun. My cat tried to get Bun Bun. We call all the bunnies Bun Bun in our yard, and so my cat is harness trained, kinda.
Well,
And-
she goes on a harness without freaking out now.
And
anyway.
so we were outside for like half an hour one day, and the bunny was chilling, and she was leaving it alone. And I was like, oh, she's being so nice. So what I do is I go and I start putting the lawn chairs away that I would set in the middle of the yard, and she usually just lays there. She waited for me to unhook her because I put the leash under the chair. She waited, and the minute I turned my back, she pounced and almost got the rat. Yeah, like almost like a cat.
So you're raising killers.
Stone
in a
Cold,
manner of
Killers.
speaking. Well, you've met Ace, so.
She's been in training with Tad for a couple of years now.
Talk about
Oh,
Oh.
First thing about Tad training is we don't talk about Tad training.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
Killer.
second rule about TAD training is you don't talk about TAD training.
But what's the third rule?
You have to keep Tad from talking about Tad training.
Yeah,
'cause he
that's the
doesn't
third
shut-
rule. That's the third rule. Got it. Got it.
All right, Ace. What motivates you the most?
My parents.
Go on.
Why? I don't know. 'Cause it's awesome.
I thought you were oh, that's very motivating.
No.
That's what we don't talk about is the wooden spoon.
We have wooden spoons now. They're hiding it from me.
When I was 14, I was at so much that my grandfather built and like sanded and stained a paddle and then even drilled holes in it. So he's like, yeah, aerodynamic, so just in case. He never actually like used it to, discipline me or anything like that, but it was like the running joke, like he hung it up in his kitchen too. And everyone's like, what's that? And they're like, it's just to keep the boy in line.
That's awesome.
And it was like, I don't know where the line is because I'm messing up all the time. So, like that was like the running joke at our house. With it used to be a spoon.
Yes.
I know that was a really uninteresting story. You guys are all looking around like,
My dad was a wooden spoon guy.
hey, you guys are all looking around the room like.
I
are you
was
about to
looking
hear
for
about
my. I was
child
looking for.
abuse?
No, I was looking for my energy drink that I'm gonna grab right now.
I was hoping that you brought said wooden weapon here and hung it up there because you don't get in trouble
Oh, I get
anymore.
in trouble. It's just like because I was like my mother's only child, and my father, my mother was his second marriage, so all his first grandchildren were in New York. So I was an only child growing up. Also made me the only child at my grandparents. So like I was very well observed in a lot of things. Like I would tell you guys like one of the most embarrassing stories. There wasn't a 14-year-old here.
Let's do it.
Is it okay, Mom?
What are we doing?
Embarrassing story that about me from 14ish.
Okay.
You're okay with this?
Okay.
Might be a little explicit.
I mean, okay.
Okay. So because I was the only child, I just had eyes on me, right?
Yep.
All the time. And because of this, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do anything. So after my parents went to bed, I'm like, I'm going to rub one out. I'm 14. This is what I'm going to do. And to keep all the light off, and I just quietly sneak to the bathroom. I'm looking for Vaseline, right? 14. And I think I got it. Go on the back, and about a minute in, found out it was Vicks Vapor Rub.
Sick. Oh, you're in trouble.
I alerted the whole house, the neighborhood, everybody about what was going on because I was screaming.
I have a similar story, but different reason that happened. I was trying to help her father when we were married. This was before you were born. You want to get explicit? You're going to learn some things tonight, kid.
No.
He was going through some sort of condition where his legs were cramping constantly. He couldn't even get out of bed at the time. So I was trying to be nice, and I was not Bengay. What's the other stuff that you use? That,
Icy hot.
yeah, it was basically we'll just say icy. But I was putting that on his legs, and I was not in where I was putting it, and I accidentally bumped something, got stuff on that. And for somebody with cramps, he jumped out of bed, right, going, wash that stuff off. You can't. It's just, and he was so mad at me, and I felt so bad. But
Yeah, first, because I woke them up and they're downstairs. I just hear, what the fuck? Right? So I'm like, oh no, everything's bad.
Yeah.
And my dad comes.
Well, everything was bad at that point.
It was really bad.
Well.
But luckily, my dad's the first one at the door, and not my mom. So I Dad, this is what I did. And just the loudest laughter I've ever heard from my dad.
did he
And-
cover for you a little bit?
Well,
A little bit.
a little bit, because my mom's like, what happened? Like she comes upstairs and she's like, it happened, right? Like she's freaking out. And my dad goes, the boy learned a lesson.
Ha ha! Yeah, sure did. You
I
never
hear
did.
shampoo is also a lesson that a lot of boys learn the hard way when it comes to experiencing something like that. Apparently, if that gets in certain crevices, that can be quite painful, is what I've heard. I've heard more than one story about that. I don't know.
Never tried with shampoo.
Well, he'll be back next week with research for all of you guys to let you know if that.
Just me.
Anyway,
Yeah, on
all right.
Mythbusters, just you.
No,
So-
Mythbusters has 2 people on the show. I'll have you know.
Oh,
Now-
Tim's our on-field
now.
research. Probably.
So now one time that Michelle agrees to go, we've talked about hitting kids with spoons, and now we've about adolescent pleasure with
Yeah, this is-
inadvertent pain.
I don't know about you, but I'm having fun.
Got her popcorn and everything.
Yeah, she's like, tell me more about being 14.
I haven't done that yet.
Well, let's hope not. I've shared.
She's an angel.
Pat has openly told her that she is his favorite, and that includes his children and my children. So
Yeah, she's my favorite. Her and I vibe, I think
Alright.
is how you would say it.
Favorite. What gives you peace?
In what sense?
What brings you peace?
I don't know.
she's 14. Did you know peace at 14?
Yeah, it was the opposite of
A Vicks
the
Vape Rug?
yeah.
That was
Yes.
peace. That was
Sleep. I like sleeping. I sleep a lot.
truth.
Teenagers, that's
Yeah.
like I remember I wanted to sleep, and there's always 8 a.m. Like all of a sudden my dad wants to mow the lawn at 8 a.m. Like, you have never been up on 8 a.m. on a Saturday in your life. Why? And it's because he knew I was like up until 6 playing video games. But so sleep brings you peace. What about when you're awake?
I'm just not awake.
You're awake now.
That does not peace.
What would bring you peace right now?
Sleeping.
Yes.
What brings you peace, Dad?
Seeing the people I care about and others happy. That brings me peace. My cat, if nothing else. Spending time with my kids.
What's your cat's name?
Jessa.
Jessa.
Oh no, you don't. The door's been opening slowly.
I've told the cat story on here
many times.
The first
this is
time
the first
I
time
e-
you told it.
The first time I ever told the cat story was on our Christmas special because they were like, "Cat, you have to tell a story," and we were out of books, so I told it.
Everybody loves the cat story.
I tell it when I go speak usually. So
Ace. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you like most about yourself?
About myself. Physically or mentally?
What do you like most about yourself?
Physically or mentally?
You pick. What's the one that's the most?
I like my eyes.
You like your eyes?
I like my eyes.
What about mentally?
Mentally? I think I'm a very nice person. Except for when I'm making fun of my friends and Tad, but that doesn't count. And Mom sometimes about
You
her
make
being
fun of
old.
Mom?
Yeah.
Is Mom old? Mom, how old are we?
Old enough to.
38.
Hold on. How old do you think I am?
I imagine you're around my age.
What's your age?
I'm going on 32.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, we're pretty close.
Well, she likes
We're
you
pretty
now.
close. We're pretty
Whoa,
close.
you did not need to lie like that.
I figured mid-30s.
Sure, that was a good time. Until it wasn't. Late 30s were a lot darker. So yeah. Moving on. Ace, what do you like about yourself again?
I'm surprised she didn't just blab your age out.
For anyone wondering, it's 43.
She's not wrong.
I don't know why you're like why you're like ashamed to be like I'm 43.
I'm not ashamed of it. I just like calling people out on why you would think that that's a good question to ask a female that's like above the age of like
I don't
18.
I still in my years, and maybe I'll never grow to learn this lesson. I don't understand what the whole like negative outlook about like asking women their age or men or anybody.
Right. So I don't think there is anything, but however, respectfully, if you don't want to answer, that's cool then.
Yeah,
And we don't
I
have
mean,
to dive into
respectfully,
it.
if you don't want to answer, like I'm gonna be like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. But
So-
like, I just don't see why it's like always been so negative around there, or like why because like some kind of stigmas come out to be like, oh yeah, women don't share their age.
So let's like really put it all out there then.
Yeah.
Let's look at what the media tells us that we are supposed to look like, right?
boy.
And I really don't have an issue. I love being in my 40s. Like I've heard others say life begins when you're 40, right? And I fully embrace that. Like what I know now in my 40s, I'm sure I'll know that much more when I hit my 50s, right? But like what I know now that I didn't know for so much of my life, I adore. And a lot of that comes from my recovery, which I'm extraordinarily grateful for. But you look at what women are supposed to do. We're supposed to look younger. We're supposed to look hotter. We're supposed to look thinner. We're supposed to look more like the people that are on the TV, that are in the magazine pages. And they portray this to where we're objects now. We are not individuals. We don't become distinguished when we get gray hair. We look old and ratchet. So that's what the perception is out there. That's what the stigma is out there. That's what women are trained. That's what women are trained to think, and it's BS. And that's why I always put it right back on people like, well, how old do I look? Am I meeting the status quo for what society tells me that I'm supposed to look like? And I'm going to see if you're going to be one of those BSers that's going to sit there and try and sugarcoat what you say for an age, or if you're going to try and call it real. The real dicks are the ones that sit there and throw something really, really far out there in the other direction. And I've had those people too. And at the end of the day, like, I can't change my age. That's like me trying to say that I wish I was taller. Well, I've only been this height, so I'm okay with it. It's not my fault the world was built the wrong size. Whatever. But, you know, but I mean, so yeah, it's there, and it creates insecurities in women. It creates depression. It creates social anxiety and the pressure. And let me tell you, for women that actually have to go through and they buy the products, they get the whatever to wear, they do the stuff to the hair, they do the makeup, they put on the fake nails, they put on the fake lashes, they go and do this, they go and get augmentations. We broke, man. We broke.
Whoa, Mom. What do you mean by fake lashes and nails? Hold on now.
I thought she was gonna be like, what do you mean we?
So, wait, you spent
But
my
I'm
college fund, Mom?
But here's what I'm saying. It's not that we can't enjoy it, but are we whole without those things? A lot of people can't say they feel that way.
You
There
have
are
to
people.
ask yourself what your motives are. Am I doing this for me because I want to do it because I like it, or am I doing it to please somebody else?
Exactly.
Can I tell a funny
Be
story?
pretty.
You know,
You can't even see me on the camera, so I
some
can't tell if
lashes
I'm
would
doing it
really
right.
help accentuate those eyes behind those glasses too, babe. Just saying.
I can help you with that.
She's gonna teach me how to do lashes. And you know what?
I do not remember saying that. You keep claiming that, but I don't ever
Oh, I
remember
know,
agreeing.
because that's one of the times where your mother's telling you what's going to happen versus asking. Sometimes telling it like
you can,
it is.
You can just go watch an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. They'll tell you.
We tried that. We tried doing drag makeup, and I mean, yours turned out way better than
Yeah, mine
mine.
turned out great.
You looked amazing, and then I don't know what happened to me. I don't know. And then we went out in public afterwards, and I felt so uncomfortable. Anyway, Anyway, but no, checking your motives, and that's a great thing to bring back around, like what we're at in recovery too. And I think I learned a lot of that. I got a lot of self-respect for myself through that process. That some days I'll get dressed up and I'll put makeup on. Other days I might look like I climbed straight out the trash can with baggy clothes and hair messy as crap, or just throwing a hat on. Does not matter, you know. And that's come from realizing, knowing who I am.
Okay. And who do we have on the show?
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. Mackenzie, welcome to the show. Is this your first time?
No.
No? You've been on before? So you know the whole rundown of this?
Mhm.
All right. Then I'll ask Mackenzie and Ace this question, and Mom can comment with me. Right? We'll have fun with this one. All right. Let's start with Mackenzie.
Okay.
Is there life on other planets? And what kind of life?
Do you have to start with me?
I did.
Do we have to?
Do you not want to play the game?
Yeah, I will, but I don't know really what to say about that.
Do you believe there's life on other planets?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of life do you believe?
Like different than here.
Like, is it intelligent? Or is
Could
it
be.
just organisms? We'll come back.
Yeah.
Mom.
I've been asked this question on this. I want to hear what my kid has to say first.
Oh, I got you.
Knew you would.
I'm gonna say yes because I don't know. If there's not alien life, then give me an explanation as to why my U.S. government teacher looks like that. He's not human. I'm telling you. That man is not a human.
No, he's a PIM instructor.
He's a U.S. government teacher, so.
P.I., M.P.I., M.P.I. M-
Did you want me to come
Okay,
back to you now?
Sure.
Okay.
So it's probably like different than here on our planet, could be. Because this planet, most of us are human, and we're not aliens, like she said. But probably different.
My U.S. government teacher.
Yeah, whatever, her teacher.
His teacher.
Yep, that teacher.
All right. Well, Mom, is there any questions you want to ask the kids?
Oh my gosh. All right. So we're in a recovery podcast. You are both children
Oh man,
who have
I knew
parents
this was coming.
who, yeah, I know, right? You have parents that are active in the recovery community.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me, and just like I don't pull back on anything, be as whatever, what has been your experience in what you've seen in your parents?
So I didn't really see anything because I was like young. But like I don't know, just like what? Pay attention to your game or whatever.
Yeah, pay attention to your game or whatever.
Or whatever.
We'll say earmuffs. Earmuffs, Dad.
Like different. Like my dad wasn't really around, you know?
So now that he is around, how does that feel?
Good. Like I'm glad that I have my dad.
I'm glad your dad's around too. He's a cool dude.
Yeah. And the coffee man. He makes good coffee.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
I think we should.
You are not wrong.
I think we ought to keep him.
If we can, yeah. He's my twinsy. He's my sober twin. We have the exact same sober date.
The exact same.
Exact same. Same year and everything.
Well, it's not very difficult. It was on New Year's.
We're New Year's babies, yeah.
I think that is like the most common one. If I had to guess. Like I have
No idea.
Yeah, if it was like July 28th, like that's a really random date. I don't know.
Yeah, that is
What,
kind
what happens if somebody gets sober on February 29th?
that's just
They only get to celebrate every
Well,
Every 4 years.
Four
it's also
years.
good that they started their like they want to get sober, but it would kind of be weird to do it at the end of the month. But it's not also weird because you're also trying to help yourself to not do bad decisions in your life.
I only ask that because my sober date is February 28th.
Oh,
Right?
well, it's not as close to the end of the.
It is.
Well,
It's
February 29th only happens every 4 years,
every
though.
4
Really?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have it this year. The easiest way to remember if it's going to be a leap year is an election year. We get leap year every election year.
Ew, gross.
Womp womp.
Ain't nobody here trying to talk politics. You said election year, and we all just started.
So yeah, make sure you all do your civil duty. And you get out in November and you
Are
cast
you
your
registered?
vote.
Have you signed up
Because
in your
if-
local community?
If you don't vote, you don't get to complain. At least that's what I was
Guess I'm not gonna complain.
I get to vote in 4 years. Next election.
This one just learned that she was like, her older brother's turning 21. And she's like, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to look forward to. And I was like, well, he won't be able to rent a car until he's 25.
Yeah, 25, you can rent a car, and your insurance goes down.
He can run for president when he's 30.
Yep, we talked about that too.
30.
You have to
It's
be 30?
Yeah, it's 30. We did this in U.S. government class with my alien teacher.
So I can run for president.
There you go.
Do you want to be my VP on the ticket?
Oh, no. I don't do
sure?
politics.
We should do politics.
I don't like getting politicky.
It'd be great.
I don't cater to people anymore. Doormat Mandy's gone. She would have been great at politics. She would have been like, oh yeah, people please for days. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. All right, so Ace.
Oh, what was
Same
the-
question.
what was
As
the
a child that has a parent that is actively in recovery, what has that meant for you? Either past tense, current tense, however you want to put it out there in the world.
Kind of the same as her. I was pretty young when it happened, but I can still like remember you not being there quite as much. And I don't know. I've watched you get a lot better, just as a person in general too. Honestly, when you first got sober, I don't know about that, but you're better now. It's okay.
So if your child is not
Hey, I'm not done yet. Oh. Shh. Question comes after. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you. And then I think the other parents still have like some resentment towards you because of what happened, because you put a lot of strain on their jobs and stuff because they had to take care of me more. And so I've seen that, and then they're starting to like slowly like start to understand that you're my mom again. But yeah.
Wow, that was
Anyways, continue.
that was profound knowledge from a 14-year-old.
Oh, this one gives real talk for days.
That is
When I want to.
amazing. When you want to.
When I want to.
You feel like it right now.
Otherwise, she's just like, I'm feeling ADHD. I can't focus. I don't want to talk. That's the alternative. But no, usually I talk about this one, and it's appreciated. Yeah, and I mean, I've had to have that conversation as a person who has children that got to see their perspective, and from that it was my absence, like for me. And I'm not saying this was the right decision. I chose to be absent because I was making choices. I wasn't the parent that they deserved in that moment, and I didn't want to be seen that way because I didn't feel like I was toxic. I didn't think that was good for you, so I stayed away. And I'm not saying that was the right choice because you needed your parent. I didn't know how to be that person at that time, and it's one of those walking amends that I constantly have in my life where I show up for you the best I can every single time that I can. And I'm not going to do it perfectly. Any parent that says that they're doing it perfectly, I don't trust them. They're probably in politics. But you know, I keep trying to learn from it. And I hope that not only the good qualities and the good things that I teach you today are good lessons for you to help you find your roadmap to what success looks like for you, but that you can also learn from my mistakes so you don't have to learn them for yourself.
My favorite quote by my art teacher is, perfectionism shares a lot of traits with white supremacy. If you think about it, because perfection, like having the perfect skin color and stuff like that, which would be white. So if you're perfect, you're a white supremacist.
Perfection Nazis. You learned that here, folks.
Perfection Nazis.
Perfection
All right.
Nazis.
Mackenzie,
Yeah.
what are you grateful for?
My family.
Your family?
Yeah. And my cat.
And your cat?
Kitty, actually.
You got
Yeah.
Jessica?
Huh?
What's your cat? Your cat's name's Kitty?
No, he's a kitty. His name is Jack.
Jack.
Because he has a black beard, mustache, whatever thing. Bobby.
Ace. What are you grateful for?
Grateful for my friends and my family. They're pretty awesome.
What do your friends believe in hockey again?
Honestly, probably. They think it was a male podcast though, where we hate women. I hate women. Because my friends, they're just like that. So I wouldn't be surprised. I would put past them. They think I'd like get on here with like Andrew Tate or something. How do you feel about Andrew Tate?
I honestly don't know who that is.
Oh,
Me too.
you're missing out, bro. You're missing out. He talks about the color of his Bugatti a lot, and he's like, "What color is your Bugatti?"
Oh, I mean, I can pump ego if you want me to. Like,
You have to talk about how much you hate women, though.
I think women are just amazing. They keep the houses clean.
Oh, you're on
Men on others.
Yeah,
on
they're in the
hand.
kitchen. They're in
Yeah,
the kitchen.
the man.
Oh, my dude cleans. When he gets in actual clean mode, oh,
She does not clean. I can confirm.
She just exposed
what
you.
is going on? I'm like just, I'm like, what? Andrew Tate and all this other stuff. I don't know anything that's going on.
You're just not a Sigma male like me.
I don't know what any of that means.
You wouldn't get it. I'm mewing. I'm a mogger. You wouldn't understand.
oh my gosh. You see what I put up with all the time? I have to say you have to explain this to me. Like you legit have to. And I've said that. I've had to say I am ignorant to what you are saying right now. We need to break it down. And I really love throwing in like random stuff like so she'll say something that's all trendy and hip and that I don't know and I'll just tell her I like the cut of her jib.
I too like to use big words and things I don't understand to make myself sound more photosynthesis.
You should start using it.
Yeah, you should.
Oh, I've got Riz. Trust me.
Say one.
I am,
okay.
I am the master of Riz.
You the
and
Rizzler? You're the Wizard of Oz?
I created Riz before it was Riz.
Okay, say one.
What?
Say one.
Say Riz line. What's your best Riz line?
Oh, you guys think they're Riz lines. No, Riz is an attitude. Riz is charisma.
Look at that one.
What am I looking at? What am I looking at? If you try, you will
You have to get up
succeed.
and do it. You have to get up and do it.
Okay.
Oh no. Look over there. Look over there. What's that? That's crazy. Oh no. Wait. You gotta look that way. What's that over there?
You don't get it.
Apparently it's a TikTok. If you watched enough TikTok, you'd know exactly what they're
You wouldn't
saying.
get it. I'm a mogger. I'm the Alpha G. I'm the male. I'm Skibbity Toilet Ohio Riz. You just wouldn't understand.
Man, what are you grateful for?
That I don't have to try and claim that I'm risen. Apparently.
You're not a Rizzler, Mom.
You're not a
I'm not a
Rizzler?
Rizzler.
They don't fully understand. Riz was short for charisma.
Yeah, but it got popular recently,
Yeah.
and they use it instead. Like, you pull people of the female species instead.
And how do you do that? With charisma.
With
No.
your Riz. Your Riz.
Don't.
You don't.
Don't. I already let you go too far.
No.
Like trying to don't
Mom,
feed into it.
Mom.
Don't feed into it.
Mom.
Trust
Are
me.
we as millennials old now?
Yeah.
Oh, that you're cute thinking
You
I'm
guys are really
millennial.
old.
You are the oldest millennials, 44.
Ew,
Depends on
millennials,
which cusp you
ew.
go on. I'm actually cusp of Gen X.
No,
and
they
what's-
need
millennial.
Zennial.
What's your name?
If you-
Oh, you're trying to argue with everybody right now. Okay. Let's go. Oh, I don't have my phone.
What year were you born?
80.
80?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me look up. Oh, because, yeah, the other one's supposed to be
Alright.
84.
All right, see you guys. Thank you for letting me be on the podcast.
Okay,
Thanks for coming
we'll,
on.
We'll look this up after. Later on.
We'll loop back.
Okay.
But
Well, that's all we got for time for. I appreciate everybody that tuned in and listened tonight. No.
what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to keep giving back. There was a little part of me that kind of moaned and bitched to my sponsor on Wednesday. I was like, this was supposed to be my one day off from doing anything. I was supposed to get off work and go home and do what I want to do. And my sponsor was like, because all he did is ask me, he's like, will you want to come with me to come get a foosball table? And I was like, no, I'm going. Like I get to be of service, right? Like this is easy. Like, I don't have anything, whatever. grateful that like these are that's the mass of my problems. Right? These are the days I prayed for.
Truth.
So I'm grateful for the ability to keep going on and experiencing and learning and annoying 14-year-olds and I love you. Appreciate you guys listening. If you need anybody, if you need help, please reach out. Grab a number. In the bottom, I show you. There is lines. There is Tim's number on the bottom. Don't have to do this alone.
Drug free.
Drug free.
Drug. Just drug.
Real life. This.
Spin.
We're still alive.